Testing 1 2 1 2. Nah, I'm just fucking with y'all. Welcome back, y'all. This is live and direct once again, and let's talk about this Caleb Plant and Canelo fight, man. I'm very excited about it. Everybody has been talking about it recently, with the whole testing issue that's been going on in boxing, and Oscar Valdez, the controversy surrounding him right now, and basically, like you've already heard it, that Caleb Plant is really going at their necks right now, and he should be going at their necks because all's oh man, I don't even know how to say the phrase. I'm pretty sure it's all is fair in the love of war, something like that. I probably like butchered that quote already, but hey man, I mean, like, if you're trying to deter your opponent, you're gonna try to find every single mental edge that you're gonna have to achieve over them, and that's what Caleb Plant is doing. Caleb Plant is psychologically uh ahead on the scorecards with Canelo, and Canelo's not really doing anything. People are gonna say, "Oh, look, nah, man, Canelo is not that type of guy." Well, man, I mean, he does get irritated by that stuff. I could tell that on the build-up. Let me take y'all back one time. Like in the All Access for the Mayweather versus Canelo fight, Canelo was getting irritated by Floyd's comments about him because Canelo doesn't really like when when fighters talk bad or talk down on him, man, because that really gets into his head, and that's another psychological weapon that other fighters could use against him that nobody else has, and guys like Golovkin, guys that have already given Canelo close fights. The only one that has actually done it to a certain extent, well, to an even greater extent than what Floyd did, was Irizlandi Lara. And you guys saw how close that fight was, and a lot of people thought Lara won, man, So, uh, yes, I think Caleb Plant is doing the right thing, and he's also brought in Andre Ward. Well, like, he's training with Andre Ward right now, and Ward is actually giving him pointers. And when I think about it, Andre Ward and Caleb Plant are very similar. And when Andre Ward is giving out pointers and stuff, he's very detailed, very meticulous. It's not like some guy like Floyd giving other fighters pointers, man. I think when Andre Ward gives a pointer, like, I feel like it's more sincere than coming from somebody like Floyd. Because whenever I see Floyd doing it, man, like, I just see him doing it as like posing for the cameras, like he's just giving random fighters like pointers, even though like they're not really gonna put their entire heart into the sport, kind of like Tyrone Woodley and all these characters, man. But like, he's not really gonna put any type of effort into them. So like, that's why uh to me, I value Andre Ward's opinion a lot more than Floyd's most of the time, just because of that, man. Like, in terms of the boxing perspective, and technique wise, like, Andre Ward actually had a show on ESPN where like he breaks down all the fights and like how it's done in the sport of boxing. And Andre Ward is a great addition. Like, if he's gonna be there the whole entire camp for Caleb Plant. And Virgil Hunter, just like in the back, well, not in the background, but just like watching the whole outline of it, And the fact that Andre Ward is giving pointers is gonna show y'all that even if Andre Ward is not fighting right now, a guy that he's teaching could still beat Canelo, and Andre Ward doesn't have to come out of retirement to prove it, because somebody else already did it. And Caleb Plant, I don't think Caleb Plant is a better boxer than Andre Ward, but Caleb Plant does have certain aspects about him where he's versatile enough, where he's open-minded enough, where he's able to learn a lot more. Like, he has a large learning capacity. Everybody doesn't give him credit for that. And that's how you win a lot of fights. And everyone is always going to use the whole Canelo resume thing, but when did the resume matter when Tyson Fury beat Klitschko? When did the resume matter when Teofimo Lopez beat Lomachenko, you know? So that's what I'm saying. All right, y'all, I'm back. Had to sneeze and blow out some mucus and shit because like every time that I talk, all of a sudden like my throat fills up. Yeah, I don't want to go into detail about it, but um, anyways, when we're talking about Andre Ward, man, Andre Ward, I'm telling y'all that he's giving out a lot of great advice. Like he's very detailed, and I think he would be a better trainer than a lot of fighters out there. And then a lot of people would think that other fighters would like turn out to be great trainers, but they really wouldn't, man. You know, like everyone wants to talk about like Lomachenko's father, even though like he's only exclusively to like the Ukrainian based fighters, you know, like that's the only ones he's gonna be able to vibe and communicate and vibe well like actually get somewhere with, you know, not necessarily with a guy like all the way over there in Mexico or anything that only speaks Spanish, you know? Like it depends on certain trainers, but if you're talking about Andre Ward I think is the more experienced out of like the fighter perspective. Like, well, if he were to be able to become a trainer, he would be definitely the most detailed one out of all of them. You know, like from being a former gold medalist, from being undefeated to division champion, and yeah, man, like there's so much that comes into this. You know, like Caleb Plant training with Andre Ward, getting these pointers. Like this is what I'm thinking. Caleb Plant is gonna take the fight to Canelo, and a lot of people are gonna be surprised. And if some if Caleb Plant ends up winning, psychologically, it could affect Canelo. And in the rematch, I don't know if he could bounce back from something like that. Cause Caleb Plant, man, would be like on a different level of playing field if it were a rematch, because like everything would be on the line for both of them. But to me, like, man, the thing is, Canelo, he's very, I don't know, like how he would react to a rematch if he were to make adjustments. Obviously, the Golovkin fight, but against somebody like Caleb Plant, hmm, because Caleb Plant to me is a better boxer than Golovkin. That's not, to me, that's not a debate. Even though everybody's gonna try to refute it, and um, I just think that Caleb Plant moves better. He's a lot more younger. And there's this thing going on about Caleb Plant being older than Canelo, which isn't true like at all. Factually, he's 29 years old and Canelo is 31 years old. One was born in 1992. Canelo was born in 1990. And just to get that fact straight out. So to me, like Caleb Plant, he has a lot going for him, you know, like the jab, the way that he moves, and that he could fight in the pocket a lot better than people think because he's very smart on the counter there. And he's able like instead when he goes inside, he's not just like trying to push somebody with both of his arms. Like he actually uses his shoulder to push other fighters off. You know, like there's certain movements where like strength does play a role, but then at the same time, like you don't really like have to use too much physical effort to do it. You know, Chicano Prophet, how's it going, Chicano Prophet? In the building, man. So it seems like we still got our bet going on. But if you want, I could send you a link, and then like I'll send you my email in the private chat. That way you can see where you can message me. Well, I mean like where I can message you it. But first, let me see if I could drop the link. Dropping the link. Uh, oh, guess. Copy. All right. All right. If you want to hop on, you could hop on, and then we could discuss this whole bet. But if you want to go into further detail, you could always email me in the private chat as soon as like you hop on, or like whenever you have time. You know what I mean? But anyways, I'm gonna continue. Caleb Plant, man, getting pointers from Andre Ward, it's great. It's gonna be, to be honest, like I think even without Andre Ward, he still would have actually done better. You know, so I don't know, man, but whatever's gonna happen in this fight, it's gonna be a lot more different than people think. Cause I think Caleb Plant is better than Billy Joe Saunders. I, I don't know why everybody has been making this comparison, to be honest, about Caleb Plant and uh, Billy Joe Saunders. Like, they're two completely different fighters. Very completely different fighters. And Billy Joe Saunders can't fight on the inside like how Caleb Plant is. He's not really that methodical as him. So I don't get where like the whole thing about them being similar is. And I think Caleb Plant would have beaten somebody like Callum Smith. And Callum Smith, he did win the World Boxing Super Series, you know, and he did beat Georgia Groves. But I think Caleb Plant would have used a lot of movement. His defense is a lot better. I'm driving, so I can't join the stream, bro, but I'll click the link and give you my email. All right, perfect, perfect. Let me see. How's it going, Chicano Prophet? Hmm. Yeah, I'm checking something right now because I want to make sure that um I'm adding you to the stream. Or adding. All right. All right. Well, you could send me a comment like after the live is ended, but I just wanted to make a quick stream about this whole Andre Ward thing, and I think it's a great addition, man, because Andre Ward, like I've said before, has a lot of intelligence on this sport, man. You know, like the way that he describes a lot of fights and stuff. And to me, he would have been a better trainer, a better, more guy to give advice to other fighters than somebody like Floyd. And that's not knocking on Floyd because like Floyd did it his way, man. Like Floyd is like on a completely different level. You know, like there's some things that Floyd could try to teach to somebody, but it's just not gonna like process, man. That's actually like a testament to what he actually did in the ring, man. Like there's certain things, man, that you just can't really describe to somebody. And somebody like Andre Ward, like he could actually break down the basics because like he was a more basic, like he was more about the basics. He was about fundamentals. Like he wasn't relying too much on athleticism so much. That's why I think that Andre Ward, from like a standpoint, from like a basic level standpoint, and from like the fighter perspective to another fighter, he could end up giving Caleb Plant a lot of pointers, man, like for this entire fight. But he has to make sure that Caleb Plant has counter adjustments against Canelo's counter adjustments, because that it's going to be a chess match in one part of the fight or the other. So either ways, let me see. Yeah, I think that's it for right now. Just wanted to do a quick live, y'all. I'll see you whenever I could. You know what I mean? But what was I gonna say? Yeah, today is Labor Day, so enjoy y'all's day off if y'all have a day off. I have a day off, but I'm about to get busy later on. So until then, and by the way, I have my subscribers only on. So if you've been here for 6 months, then you could comment in the chat. But I don't just let anybody on the stream. by the way. So I've only allowed reputable people on the stream. And if you don't have no icons or anything like that, I don't want you on here. Or if I don't know you, like if I see your face in the studio or anything, I'm not gonna let you on. And that's that. So anyways, back to it. Laters, y'all. Take care.